yesterday believes that there's nothing that a cup of tea can't solve. He is the man behind the very popular slogan, India runs on chai. Armed with an MBA from Harvard University, he turned down several lucrative offers from big corporates and decided to return to India to start his entrepreneurial venture. Little did he know then that his venture would one day become the go-to brand for a perfectly brewed cup of chai. So here's presenting Bangalore's key influencer and high achiever, the CEO and founder of Chai Point, Mr. Amuleek Bijral. Hi Amuleek, thank you so much for joining us on the Talk with Preethi Shenoy.
Thank you so much for having me over, and thank you for visiting our store.
Thank you. So Amuleek, your story is very interesting. Recognizing that there wasn't a single tea retail chain in the country, you saw a market opportunity and hence was born Chai Point in 2010. Did you ever imagine Chai Point to become one of the leading tea chains in India?
See, candidly, I got into this opportunity or this area because I thought the market was huge. It was unaddressed. It may sound slightly maybe over arrogant, but at that point of time, that was the ambition, that we should make a mark. We should be able to monetize and figure out something which nobody has paid attention to and build a huge chain. Candidly, I think I thought the journey would have been longer.
Okay.
So I am very happy now at this stage that as a team we've been able to come to this stage at a pace which was faster than what I expected.
Right.
More importantly, there are other bigger players who have also entered into this space. I think this market is so large, and this is something which has been such a big gap for the consumers, that our foray also woke up several giants. I think there's some satisfaction in that for sure. Right now though, our focus of course is to just keep on paying attention to what the consumer demands, because even around a humble cup of chai, customers' expectations are changing quite dramatically.
Okay. So like I mentioned, in my introduction, you're Harvard educated, you came back with an MBA. So when you told your family that you wanted to become a chai wala, what was their reaction?
See, candidly, the stage at which I told them, I had already worked in the corporate sector for some time. I had had a decent stint. I was in leadership positions. So my parents and my family were surprised but not shocked. I mean, by that time they knew that he's a big boy, right? I mean, he's worked, he's studied. So if he's thinking of such a thing, maybe there is some logic to it. Or maybe it's just a whim which will pass away, but even if it's just a whim and doesn't work out the way he's thinking it will be, I think there was some confidence that he will land on his 4 feet and get going again.
Right.
So they were surprised, but very supportive.
Okay.
Right, and they were quite, I think surprise is the right word. They were very intrigued as to what is this thing, right? And why is he suddenly after this idea, after having spent so much time in technology? Because candidly, I was very passionate about technology.
Okay.
I am very passionate about technology even now. So they always thought that he's sort of the geek of the house. If not a geek, sort of a tech business geek, right? And he's always talking about technology, and what's making him now suddenly seemingly say bye-bye to the technology world and get into the world of chai. So that intrigued them, but they were not surprised. They were surprised, but they were very supportive.
Okay. And did you have any knowledge of the tea industry before this? And the reason I'm asking is because I want to understand the process that you went through when you decided that this is the business that you wanted to venture into.
See, I think for anything important, the abstract has to come first on this, right? The details, the minutiae, they're very important. Without them, nothing materializes. But first, the abstract thought has to take a hold. And the abstract thought that took hold in my mind at that point of time was that I want to build a consumer brand. Now, I had nothing to do with the consumer world. Technology implementation to consulting to technology sales and business management was sort of my arena. But once the notion set in that I want to build a brand, and this notion, mind it please, was not sort of a passing fancy. This notion was based on the realization that brands, connect and touch with people. Right? Brands outlive technology. Right? Technologies can assist, but it's brands ultimately which take hold.
Absolutely.
So somehow I connected to this thought very strongly, and I realized that building something which can last, which can have a very strong meaning to consumers is a worthwhile pursuit. That was the starting point.
Okay.
Then I started looking at ideas.
Okay.
Right? And I looked at a travel idea.
Okay.
I looked at another technology consumer kind of an idea, an online consumer idea. And then finally came sort of where I started looking at food and beverages. And that's when chai sort of stuck out. And it's not that I woke up one day and decided it was chai. Conversations with friends, this whole thing about chai came up. And I realized that I witness chai everywhere and it's so neglected, but yet people go after it.
Yes.
And once I started double clicking on the size of the market, the whole world of tea essentially, then I realized that for some reason this massive market has been neglected. Not completely, but at least the last mile. Nobody has paid attention to the last mile. Yeah, packaged teas are around, but even they are sort of 20-year-old or 30-year-old in their branding sensibility, right? In their packaging sensibility. It's not contemporary. So I realized that this is a big gap, right? And having worked abroad and lived abroad, I think I could see something which is so obvious in my own country with a fresh eye. I think that was very important. I don't think I would have latched on to this idea had I not lived abroad or worked abroad. Other than that, I had no insight. So everything was, every skill or insight about the industry, about running a store, finally developing dispensers, delivery, product development, packaged products, all of that happened sequentially over a period of time.
Okay, interesting. And do you think, Amuleek, that it's important for a business to have a co-founder?
See, I think starting a business is a very tough enterprise. Most importantly, it's very tough emotionally. Because, financially and so on, there are practical realities, but at least at the early stages, there is an element of, there's a bit of an emotional battle which is going on. Trying to realize, is it the right way? You're not even sure whether it's the right direction. Sometimes you're not even sure of the idea. You're not sure about the execution plans. It takes a lot of time. It's very demanding. At such a juncture, to have the right co-founder is undoubtedly a huge plus. But what is important is that the philosophy, right, the value structure of the founders should match, right? So in my case, Professor Tarun Khanna, my co-founder, he was never involved in an operating capacity, but from just having somebody with whom you could chat and discuss the details, more importantly, the emotional aspect of the business or the decisions that you're taking was a big relief. Right?
A mentor of sorts.
Yeah, a mentor of sorts. Somebody who's vested into the idea, has the confidence, however nebulous at that stage, and is giving you the time and the comfort to discuss and think through it without any apprehension, without any misgiving, right? So that was of help. Yes, ideally, would have been great to have an operating co-founder also, but I think the most important part there is the philosophy or the value structure.
So, Amuleek, maintaining quality and consistency is not an easy task, especially when you're delivering thousands of cups of chai every day. How do you ensure that happens?
So, it's a never-ending task. But most importantly, what gives it a chance of success is laying the foundations tightly. Foundations around certain operating principles. First and foremost, letting everyone in the company know that quality and consistency is a non-negotiable. See, for us, fundamentally, what are we doing? We are all about a cup of chai. We realize that the world of today is omni-channel. Actually, we started talking about it 3-4 years ago before it even became fashionable. And why we started talking about it was because we realized that the practical reality of life in Bangalore, or for that matter any city, is such that walking to a store or driving to a store is very inconvenient.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
People are looking for convenience, even for a cup of chai.
Yes.
Important thing is that we realize this sort of multi-channel approach, but at core, we never forgot that we are about the ritual of chai.
Right.
Right? We will succeed if people come to our store, order, or go to our dispensing machine and consume our product every day. And not even every day, twice a day, thrice a day.
Right.
If that has to happen, right, then the customer is very smart, right? They are not going to override their sense of quality and consistency.
Absolutely.
That's the core, that's the basic thing that they will check.
Yes.
Is it good quality? Is it consistent quality?
Right.
You know, every time. Once these two things happen, they will adopt the beverage and then take it on as a ritual. Once the ritual sets in, then the consumption sets in.
That's true.
Then you become a part of the lifestyle of a consumer.
Yes.
Until the time you're not a part of the lifestyle of a consumer, how do you become a brand?
So, Amuleek, now Chai Point operates on an omni-channel strategy, like you mentioned a short while ago, right? So just for our viewers to understand what that means. So that means that Chai Point has stores, you've got chai on call, there is box C in, which we'll talk about in detail a little later, and then there's loose leaf tea, right? So you've got 4 channels. So which of these channels has been a major contributor to the brand's popularity?
I think the most powerful channel from a brand standpoint is a store.
Okay.
Because the way you can engage with the consumer is just awesome.
Yes.
You know, tasting, sampling new products. We launched a lot of new products. I'm having a new product right now, right? You can't do it in any other medium to that extent.
Right.
The faster accelerating channels such as Boxy, which is our dispensing platform, that business can scale very fast. The other aspect of delivery, you know, which has come in the last 2 years or so, 2-3 years, is a very powerful one. You know, because essentially through your mobile phone, you're able to get what you want delivered. So that's why this channel is very important.
And like you mentioned, Amuleek, Boxy In is mainly aimed at corporate clients.
Well, corporates, institutions.
And it's a heavily tech-driven platform.
It is.
Right? So would you be able to give us a little insight into the technology that went behind building such a powerful platform?
See, so fundamentally, what we realized is that the white-collar preference for chai is very strong in offices, and none of them, the ones who are working at the best of places, were getting authentic chai.
I agree.
Right? They were getting tea bags essentially, and they were forced to dunk 2 or 3 tea bags in hot milk, hot water, and try to get something which is close to authentic chai.
Right.
That's what propelled them to search for small chai shanties. So when we realized that, we figured out that we need to invest time in creating a dispenser platform. When we realized this, we started working on building our own dispensing platform.
Okay.
We finally built it here in India, and it was decently successful. Then around the same time, I got an opportunity to travel abroad. I went to Taiwan, right, and I went to China, and I realized that the hardware ecosystem there is very advanced and very futuristic. So once we have the base template built, we could work with some of these leading suppliers there and assemble the dispensing platform here in India. We were able to integrate, you know, these suppliers and create our platform, right, which is completely Android based, as I said earlier, and that was also a very important decision because we were very clear that it's not just a dispensing platform that we are building fundamentally a beverage engagement platform.
So Amuleek, today in India, there are over 100 chai points, right? So what has been your biggest learning in scaling up and taking the chai point experience to different cities?
I think the biggest learning is intrinsic to the company, and that is that scaling up is a function of the team. Right? I mean, I'm a spokesperson. Right? I have not built all these 100 stores. right? Yes, I have a contribution as a leader, I
Right.
find a certain direction, but fundamentally I'm a spokesperson, right? So building the team and architecting the team at different stages of the scale-up journey of a company is a tough thing to do, right? So, but a very important thing to do. So, I think my biggest learning has been appreciating this fact.
Okay. So, what is next for Chai Point, Amuleek?
See, I mean, we've just started. So for us, I mean, we've just gotten our basics right now. Right? I mean, all this while we've been sort of in the slow-paced stage of the track, right? Now I think we are in a position where we are picking up speed, we are surer, systems are tighter, we're still raw in several areas, but you know, we are in that stage where we can run faster. The other aspect, you know, the size of the chai market is massive, and yet we have only 0.01% market share.
Oh, is it? Okay.
If I look at the full category. So if we are 1%, we are 100 times. So even mathematically, I mean, nothing has happened.
Right. So now that we have the owner of Chai Point with us, Amuleek, we are not going to let you off without telling us how to brew a perfect cup of chai.
Yeah,
so the stage is all yours.
Yeah, perfect. So, you know, simple tips. Number one, quality of water. So the softness level of water has to be right, which means the water has to be filtered and softened.
Okay.
Hard water gives bad cup of chai, irrespective of whatever tea quality you use.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So if you have to make a classic cup of chai, right? First you should boil the water. Then you should add the tea leaves.
Okay.
You should let it simmer for some time.
Okay.
Then you should add the milk to the same mix of water, tea leaves, and the milk in the end, and let it boil and heat for some more time.
Okay.
Don't change the sequence. Make sure that the brewing time of tea leaves with water is the same. You know, you give the same amount of brewing time again when you add milk.
Okay.
Right? So, simply put, if you boil, hypothetically, for 2 minutes, tea leaves and water, then after you add milk, boil for 2 minutes again, the same tea leaves with water.
Okay.
That's when you get a great cup of chai which goes well for the Indian palate.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much, Amuleek. So Amuleek, we've got one last segment called Fast 5, where all our viewers are going to get to know 5 fun things about you.
Oh,
it's like a rapid fire.
Okay.
Okay. So how many cups of chai do you have in a day?
I'll be having, I think, 4 to 5, but more importantly, my breakfast is a beer cup
Oh,
size.
okay. Your favorite flavor of chai?
I think I like a classic Assam.
Okay. And how far have you traveled for a cup of chai?
Okay. College days, I used to go to a dhaba in Punjab, which was about 27 kilometers from my college.
Wow. And Amuleek, aloo paratha or masala dosa?
Masala dosa, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's playing on your car stereo system at the moment?
What my iTunes would have is a mix of some of the most recent Punjabi pop to lot of cello to a lot of Queen.
Okay.
Right? It's a
so nice. So lovely having you with
Thank
us,
you so
Amuleek.
much.
Such a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Preethi.